In the stillness of the monastery, the air often feels like a gentle bowl holding the sound of soft footsteps, the rustle of robes, and the quiet breathing of those who come seeking peace. Life moves slowly here. Every sound seems to bow before silence, as if silence were the true teacher. On such a morning, an old man arrived. His back was slightly bent, but his eyes were bright, carrying the weight of many years and many hopes. As he walked past the stone pillars in the shaded courtyards, he looked around with quiet longing, like someone searching for answers he had carried for too long. When he finally met the Sayadaw, he bowed with respect and spoke about his life. He shared how he had spent his days locked away in his alchemic experiments, not for riches, not for gold, but for something far more elusive. He wished to create an elixir that would keep him alive long enough to meet the next Buddha, to hear the Dhamma from the awakened one himself. His voice was earnest. He believed his work, though distant from spiritual practice, shared the same destination. His wife listened to sermons. He worked with fire and metal. Both, he said, were walking toward nirvana in their own way. The Sayadaw listened with gentle calm and offered a small smile. It was the kind of smile that holds both kindness and the quiet understanding. A smile that prepares the heart to hear a deeper truth. And so in that soft morning silence, a simple exchange opened the doorway to a lesson, woven with patience, humility, and the strange, unexpected ways in which wisdom appears. The Sayadaw, still smiling, spoke with a tender calm. He told the old man that if alchemy truly carried him to nirvana, he could proudly say what a certain village physician once said about his own strange medicine. And from there, the Sayadaw began to unfold a story. This physician, he said, lived in a small village far from monasteries and markets. He was simple in his ways, yet deeply confident in an old prescription he had found in a worn, yellowed parchment. The remedy was odd: an inch of elephant hide boiled with garlic. But to him, it was a treasure. He used it on a few patients, and to everyone's surprise, they recovered. Word spread quietly from one village to the next. Soon he became well known, not because he was compassionate, but because his medicine worked and his fees were high. He never bought a cart, though he traveled far. His sandals wore down. His bag felt heavy from carrying large pieces of elephant hide. And still, he walked, day after day, believing fully in what he carried. Even as the Sayadaw told the story, his tone remained slow, steady, almost like a river moving around stones. There was no mockery in his voice, only a gentle hint that truth sometimes reveals itself in unexpected ways, and that even strange methods can seem successful when conditions allow. The old man listened with deep attention, unaware that the true lesson of the story had not yet arrived. He'd waited just ahead, like a small stone on the path that changes the way one walks. As the Sayadaw continued, the story became more curious. The physician, worn down by long journeys and a heavy medicine bag, began searching for relief. His sandals needed constant replacing, and he grew tired of carrying large pieces of elephant hide everywhere he went. Then one day a solution came to him. It was simple, almost humorous in its practicality. He bought sandals made of elephant hide. They were tougher and lasted longer, and when a patient needed his special remedy, he no longer had to search his bag. He would simply cut an inch from the very sandals he walked on. Step by step he continued his rounds, his feet wrapped in the same material he believed could cure asthma. His confidence grew as more patients recovered. To him, it proved that his medicine worked. Each cure strengthened his belief, and each trip across dusty paths deepened his pride. Yet, unseen by him, there was something else forming around his practice, a subtle attachment he held to his method, not because it brought clarity, but because it brought results, and with results came reputation. But fees, and a certain stubbornness that can settle quietly in the human heart. The Sayadaw's voice softened further, as if to guide the listener toward a gentle realization. Sometimes, success can blind us more than failure. Sometimes we cling to what works without asking why it works, or whether it carries truth. The old man listening could feel the meaning slowly gathering. But still the story had more to reveal. Then came the turning point. In the physician's own village lived an old woman known for her delicate habits. One day she was struck by asthma, and the physician was called to help her. He prepared the same remedy he trusted so dearly, an inch of elephant hide and garlic. He waited for her recovery with full confidence, but when he returned that evening, she was still struggling for breath. Surprised, he gave her another dose. Still nothing changed. By the next morning, he tried a third time, growing frustrated. When he arrived again and found her still suffering, he scolded her, pointing angrily to the missing pieces on his sandal as proof of his effort. But when the old woman realized she had swallowed parts of a sandal that had walked across dirt and waste, she was overwhelmed with disgust. Her body reacted. She vomited again and again, until her lungs cleared. Only then did she breathe freely. Her cure came not from the medicine, but from her own reaction to it. The body released what burdened it, and with that release came relief. The Sayadaw story rested gently here, allowing the meaning to settle like dust after movement. Healing had come, but not in the way the physician believed. And in this quiet truth, a lesson began to take shape for the old man listening. The Sayadaw continued letting the story unfold with steady calm. The physician, proud of his remedy, returned to the old woman expecting gratitude, but she insisted that his medicine had not cured her. It was her own vomiting that brought relief. He argued back, claiming that without his medicine, she would never have reacted. To him, the cure still belonged to his method. His belief was rooted so firmly that even clear evidence could not loosen it. In this moment, the Sayadaw allowed the story to speak for itself. The physician was not cruel. He was not foolish. He was simply attached to what he thought worked. And attachment can make even a simple mind rigid. The old man listening began to understand. The Sayadaw was not mocking him. He was guiding him gently toward reflection. The alchemist's experiments, like the physician's medicine, were built on deep desire. They were long, exhausting, and carried with them a quiet hope that something external could guarantee a spiritual reward. Yet the Sayadaw's voice hinted at a deeper truth. Effort that leans on illusion can bring activity, but not awakening. The path to freedom does not depend on clever tools or mixtures, but on clarity and understanding. The old man felt this slowly, like dawn passing through clouds. The Sayadaw ended the story with a serene calm. "Layman," he said, "even if your alchemy leads you somewhere, do not forget to look at what is truly working, and what is only a wish. If a cure happens by accident, it does not mean the method holds wisdom. And if a path is walked with misunderstanding, it may lead you far, yet not bring you closer." These words were not sharp. They were gentle, like cool water poured into warm hands. The old man listened with humility. He understood that he had been chasing longevity, hoping it would bring him to truth. But the Sayadaw was reminding him that the next Buddha, the future, even the elixir of life, none of these were as important as the understanding he could cultivate in the present moment. The lesson was simple. Intention matters, but clarity matters more, and the path to peace begins not in distant hopes, but in the quiet honesty of now. As the old man bowed and took his leave, the Sayadaw watched him with kindness. There was no judgment, only compassion for a mind seeking light. And, in the soft stillness of the monastery, the story settled like a leaf on calm water. If this gentle story brought you a moment of reflection, you may sit with us again. You are welcome to subscribe, to walk with these teachings at your own pace, and to return whenever your heart becomes quiet.